All right, today's guest is the fabulous Lynne Roe, who works with entrepreneurs and small business owners to develop a strong foundation to lead their business. Lynne guides business owners in strategic planning, sound decision making, leveraging team member strengths, and developing team collaboration, respect, and trust. Lynne, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me today.
So let me start by asking you this. So my mission is to help entrepreneurs live their legacy life, which is aligning your divine message to your purpose-driven goals so you can reach millions and achieve financial freedom. Tell us a bit about your background and the mission that you have in your business.
So I'm a business coach now, and I've spent years working. I worked in corporate, and I've run several businesses. But my kind of mission in life is to build others up into becoming outstanding leaders, and I do that by working through small business owners. When they become outstanding leaders, they each have a positive impact on their communities. They are hiring people, they're able to support non-for-profits in their area. And collectively, the people that I work with become a positive force in the world. And that really excites me every day. I can't wait to get up every morning to help create that ripple effect by building up small businesses. Small businesses are about 50% of all employees work for a small business. So if the more people we can help to become great, strong business owners, the better the whole world is.
I completely agree with you. I've been on a similar mission. If we, go back to the roots almost, I started my software company at the age of 19, way back in 1985. And it has been my goal too to work with small business owners. And it is important, especially now, I believe, and you have probably seen this too, is that we need to have that shift of not just the ability to earn income and take control of our own financial situations, especially after we saw what just happened, but really, it's our way of taking it to that next step and being able to enjoy what we're doing, to be able to live that work-life balance, which is, so key given that the family is that core fabric to the legacy that we're building, what comes to the next generations. All
Yes.
righty. So out of curiosity then, who have you helped? Like, give us a bit of a story to one of those people that you really allowed to again help them to empower and live their legacy life.
So one of my clients was a very young girl. She was 24 years old when she started working with me. So she was not a super experienced business person at all. She did not know how to run a business, but she did know a lot about social media, and she became a social media truly an expert at this point. Um, and so a big piece of what I did with her was to help her all along the way, as she was first starting out. How do I even run a business? And then, okay, I'm growing now. How do I price my products and maybe put them together so that I can make a package for people? And then it became, oh my God, I'm working 7 days a week, you know, 8 to 10 hours a day, even on Sundays. And I'm working nights and week everything, and I can't do that anymore. So how do I rearrange my business so that I can still have a life? And then it became, um, I can't do it. I can't do everything. I can't grow. I'm not growing. I'm stuck where I am. I often say that what got you to six figures will keep you at six figures. You can't really grow from there by yourself, right? The
Mhm.
hustle, whatever it is that took entrepreneurs to get to that point, they can't grow from there. Um, so that's where she was stuck, and then she had to bring on the team, and she was so afraid to bring on a team because, of course, being young, that's a scary thing to bring on the team and be responsible for their paychecks and everything. And so we worked through that, and then we had to develop some processes and procedures so that everything could run smoothly. So but it all comes back to, and this is where I start with my clients. I start with, what's the lifestyle that you want to be living? And then we design your business to support the lifestyle that you wish to be living. So everybody has their own view of what their lifestyle should be like. But I really don't think we should be working. We should be working for the business, and it should absorb our life, take our life over. We should, our business is there to support our life, the life that we want to live.
I
So
love that. I used to have this, I'll call it philosophy, and it was called Millionaire by Design. And that meant exactly what you did with your client, which was so key. And that was, what do you want your life to look like? And I remember, again, I wish I had somebody like you when I started at 19. I didn't know what I was doing. All I knew was get out there, get a client, get some money in the door. Those are the three things I was operating on. But I sure wish I had that guidance on how do you grow. Because we, at that time, with it being in the software industry, we actually grew rapidly. And then I brought on all this staff. And as you said, terrifying. It sure was, because in those leaner months, when you have a high payroll, a six-figure payroll due,
yeah,
there is nothing more terrifying than, what do you say? How do you do this? Right. I can completely relate to the journey she just went on, but I sure wish I had somebody like you in my corner during that time.
yeah,
And when I was doing a piece of my business, which was I got pregnant, right? And I was like, okay, next. And this brings us to that pieces by design will evolve, because I was okay with the hustle and grind, right? Until I got pregnant, and then I
yeah.
was going to have children. And then I said, what do I want it to look like now? And I moved my entire business piece home. The office remained at that time. We had 15 staff in house. And then one day I was like, wait, my husband needs to be here, or else he's not going to see the kids, right? He won't be there for all of everything that they do. So I actually moved him home. 15 staff went virtual, and that began our journey of constantly evolving that business or setup, actually. So
That's and
I
that's really,
absolutely love that story, because it is so key to understand that it evolves, but it has to be
yes,
planned. There's nothing, you can't hand off tasks unless you have standard operating procedures and things in place to
exactly.
help.
Exactly.
Um, yeah.
So
Yeah.
when I start working with clients, we always start, I create a strategic plan for them. And the strategic plan starts with, what's the lifestyle we want to be living? Because that gives us a direction.
Yeah.
And we start to look 10 years out. Where do we want to be in 10 years? And we all know the world is changing so fast that it won't be the same as whatever we think it will be then, but it gives us the direction that we want to go, right? And
Mhm.
then from there, I bring it back to, okay, where do we need to be in 3 years in order to hit that 10-year lifestyle? And we do some much more concrete planning for where we need to be in 3 years. And then I bring that back to, okay, now where do we need to be in 1 year in order to get to where we want to be? But it's always headed in the same direction. If you don't have that long-term direction, you could go off on this tangent and that tangent, and you could be anywhere and you'll never get to where you want to be. And it helps you make your decisions so much faster and so much better, because this is where I'm going, and nope, that other idea is a great idea, but it's not for me because it doesn't take me where I want to go.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when we're working with somebody, it's called the legacy life wheel, which is actually eight steps that we take them through. And we start always with the end in mind. What does that, look like? What does we call it legacy life look like? How
Yeah,
much time do you want to be working? How many staff do you want? How much time do you want off? How much are you making? All of these things. And I love it. It's the same process. And it's so key, because if you do not plan, as you said, 10 years out, even though we're moving it back, I love the process that you're doing, because without it, you're just throwing spaghetti on the wall, and hey, I want to make
exactly.
$1 million. Okay,
You're hoping
good.
something will stick.
Yeah, that's right. Hoping something sticks. And it might for a millisecond, oh, good, it's
Yeah,
ready. And then all of a sudden it'll hit the floor. And that's when the chaos ensues.
Yeah.
For sure. So how do you measure the success of your clients? You know, what do you guys work on as far as kind of those metrics?
You know, that's an interesting question. So I look at it in terms of, first of all, I really believe people should have lots of vacation time, because it recenters your brain. It gives you creativity. So I encourage my clients to work towards the possibility of taking a full month of vacation where they can leave the office or the work wherever they work. They can stop for a month and just totally do a vacation. And yet know that that the business is still going to be there when they get back. You know, it's not going to fall apart because they're gone. And so most of my clients want to build to that point because a couple of things happen at that point. First of all, you're not doing everything, right? You've got other people, you've got systems in place, you're very clear about what you're offering to your clients and how to find your clients. But other things happen too. If you're at a point where you can leave the business for a month, you could actually sell the business. It now has value. The business has value because someone would be interested in buying it because it doesn't rely only on you. You also now have a great business to run because you can go away and do what you want to do. So that's kind of a goal that I put in place or recommend to a lot of my clients, and many of them get there before they stop working with me, which is wonderful.
I love that. And it's the exact same thing. We call this, that's our step 8, right? The freedom of the legacy life wheel. And it has
Yeah.
2 phases. The one is how many weeks off can you take? And
Yeah.
then the one thing we start them off is the baby steps. Like take that last week off of every month, you know, start to, you know,
Mhm.
maybe you're working on the business, maybe you're not physically leaving yet, but you're not, you know, you're not taking clients, you're not doing all of the
Yeah.
day-to-day grind, and then you're implementing all of those pieces that are going to help you grow. I love the strategy that you put together so that you can make this really really seamless. And it sounds like it's also extremely simple. You seem to have this guided process. Are you working one-on-one? How do you work with somebody?
I do work one-on-one with my clients.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I also run mastermind groups with my clients, but that's all in conjunction with the one-on-one coaching. So we start with a business plan, a
Mm-hmm.
strategic plan for how we're going to get to where we want to be, and then I work with the clients to implement that plan. And I become the guide, I become their trusted advisor, but it also becomes a a relief to my clients because it's like, okay, now I know all the things I have to do and I know when I'm going to do them because I break it down so that
Mm-hmm.
we know this month we're doing this and it even comes down to this week, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's okay, I'm doing these things this week and I'm doing these things next week and I'm doing this stuff this month. And it becomes a relief because they know what needs to get done, when they're going to do it, and that it all can get done in the course of a year. But it's also becomes really easy to change because you've got it all set out. You know all the things you have to do, and you don't forget something when an emergency happens or a great opportunity comes along, and you think, okay, how do I fit this in? Or instead of saying, oh my God, this is a great opportunity, but I've got so many other things to do. No, because you know exactly what you're doing, when you're doing it, and you know you can fit something else in.
Very
Or
cool.
you know you
And
have to take something out so you can fit it in. But
I like
yeah,
I love that philosophy. That's right. We can't keep piling stuff on our plate, right? It's like dinner.
exactly.
You know,
Yes.
something has to come off. Yes, yeah, it's very cool. Um, so when you're working with somebody, one of the biggest problems we've encountered as well with our clients is how you get clients in the door. Is there a marketing method that you're using that you're particularly see successful right now? How are you helping in that way?
So I'm not a marketing expert, but I do have some philosophies that
Mhm.
I think make a huge difference. And the first one is consistency. You know, whatever you do to bring clients in the door, you have to do it consistently. Whether that's paying for advertising or attending networking events or speaking or whatever it is that you're doing, you must be consistent about it, because otherwise you end up with this roller coaster kind of sales. Oh my gosh, I don't have time to do any work because I've been so busy, so I can't bring on any new clients. Or then, oh my goodness, I got no new clients, so I guess I better go out there and network and get new clients. And it's a terrible way to live, actually. And when you even that out by being consistent with things, you actually can handle 10% more business without and adding much of anything else, because you don't have those peaks and valleys. You're going along at a much more even level. So consistency is huge. The second thing is, I really believe in making phone calls, and I don't believe in cold calls, because I think that's kind of a thing of the past. People don't really answer cold calling very much anymore, but I do believe in connecting with people one-on-one, rather than always on some kind of social media. Not that I think those are bad. You should do social media, right? But I really think make a phone call, talk to the person whenever possible. Sometimes you have to send a text or a DM or something, but maybe the text should be, hey, got time for a phone call? Because when you have that phone call with people, it's a much better way of connecting.
I agree. And yeah, we call that going old school, right?
Yes.
It's so funny, especially with our almost 40-year history I have now, we are from the Yellow Page era.
Yeah, me
Um,
too.
yeah, and and the other day I just said to somebody, you remember the Rolodex, and they didn't know what I was talking about. I was like, that was our golden nugget, that's how you got your deal of the day.
Yep.
Oh, so good. So good. So tell us, what is the best way for my audience members now to get in touch with you?
I'm going to give you my direct email address. I think that's the easiest thing. It's Lynne, Lynne, at LSR Consultants, with an S on the end, consultants.com. So Lynne, Lynne, at LSR Consultants, with an S.com.
Well, thank you so much, Lynne. It has been an absolute pleasure to spend this time with you. I love it. We're like two peas in a pod on our philosophies and
Yes,
our missions, really.
our missions as well.
And
Yes.
it's just been extremely great to spend this time with you. I'm super excited that my audience will start to reach out now and get to know you better as well.
Thank you so much for having me today.
You're welcome. Have a great day, everyone.